Peace family, this is Coach Chris. I'm coming to you with the last video of the now 5-part series for childhood trauma healing um, series. And it is going to be on forgiveness and moving forward. Now, I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope that you are loving on yourself, protecting yourself, respecting yourself, and taking care of yourself along your journey. And I want to say that I want to thank you if you watched all 5 videos. If you watched the first 4, you're on the 5th one. I want to thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for your likes, your subscribes, your comments, and thank you for putting in the work for yourself as well, because that shows that you are invested in growing and healing and getting, you know, getting your work done, your spiritual work done, your emotional, mental work done, getting your health in order to move and elevate to the next level. Now, forgiveness is defined as an intentional decision to let go of resentment and anger. It plays a significant role in the healing process, and there are 2 types: self-forgiveness and the act of forgiving others. Now, self-forgiveness is, the act of forgiving yourself. Like I probably have mentioned in previous videos, you learn to forgive yourself for things that you did as a result of the traumas that you went through, or of the lack of what did they say, um, home training. I think that's what they used to call it back in the day. For the lack of home training, or the misinformation, or the poor training that you did receive. You learn to forgive yourself because you didn't know any better. You learn to forgive yourself for not being able to protect yourself. When you were a child, when those things were happening to you, you learn to forgive yourself for not speaking up. If you didn't know how to speak up, you didn't have that personal power, you possibly were threatened and, told, forced not to speak up, you learn to forgive yourself for not doing it. You were a child. You have to realize and understand that you were a child. Even if you were an adult, if you were a teenager, you didn't have the tools, you didn't have the personal power, the confidence, to the proper self-concept to be able to effectively and efficiently protect yourself. So forgive yourself for that. You couldn't, don't punish yourself for something that you didn't know how to do. Okay? So forgive yourself for that. You'll learn in this book, you can learn how to forgive yourself. And that starts with, all the other steps in the book. Once you complete all of the other steps in the book, or, in these videos, you will regain your personal power. You will regain your confidence. You will be able to look at it from a different perspective, and you'll be able to see that you couldn't do anything, and that things happen the way that they happened. So there's nothing you can do about it. It's done. Those, especially if it happened when you were a child, you can't go back and change it. So there's no need to dwell on it. There's no need to keep revisiting it after you have already done the work to process it and heal it. If you picked at it a lot, then there's no need for you to go back and keep messing with it. If you need to go and find the lessons from it so that you can get those blessings, then you can do that. But don't just pick at it just for the sake of picking at it, just because you want to feel that hurt, because a lot of times you can get addicted to that. That's why a lot of people, when they get in relationships, they get into that S&M, and they get into relationships with people who beat on them, abuse them verbally, physically, whatever, because they are used to that kind of treatment, and a part of their psyche, a part of their bodies are addicted to it, and they need to have it. Just like if you don't get in a relationship that is abusive, You will watch a lot of horror movies. That was me. I used to watch a lot of horror movies. I used to watch a lot of action movies. I used to like watch a lot of dramas where I would be crying and all in my emotions. If you like to watch all those things a lot, it's because that is a normal. Those emotions, those feelings were normal for you. And so you need to revisit those because your body is addicted to it. So you get it from other outlets. So that's another thing. You have to learn to forgive yourself and pay attention to the things that you are doing, to your actions, your thought processes, and just shift your mindset to know that you couldn't do anything about it, and forgive yourself for not being able to do anything about it, and forgive yourself for your actions afterwards, whether it was promiscuity, whether it was you being mean or being a bully, whatever it was. Forgive yourself for those things, work through it, and just work to be better and do better, and everything will change after that. It'll be better. And it's 5:55 on the clock. Change is gonna come, family. So the other type of forgiveness is forgiveness for others. So the people who hurt you, the people who didn't do anything about it, the people who talked about you, the people who kicked you while you were down, the people who just later on, the relationships the connections that you had that were that resembled, your initial programming, your childhood trauma, the connections that you got into as, for the aftermath, as a consequence, or as a result of your earlier traumas. You have to learn to forgive those people, forgive you. Okay, and when I say this, I'm saying it this way because I know some people say, I'm not forgiving them because this, that, and that. As you have probably heard before, forgiveness is not for the other person, it is for you. It's for you to move forward, because if you know anything about Mayet, Mother Mayet, Goddess Mayet, the teachings of Mayet, it's about balance. It's about your heart has to be light as a feather for you to move on to the next round. When you pass, your heart get weighs with the scales as Libra energy. Your heart goes on one side of the scale, the feather goes on the other side of the scale. If your heart is heavier than the feather, then you can't move on. You can't elevate to a higher level. You can't go to heaven, whatever it is you believe for the afterlife. You can't move on to the better place because you are weighed down with these heavy feelings, these heavy emotions, with the grudges, with the resentment, with the fear, with the anxiety, with the I think I said resentment, with all those feelings, the hate that you have towards those people, the unforgiveness because you didn't forgive them. You cannot take that with you to where you want to go, to your higher self. Your higher self is already forgiving. Your higher self already knows that those emotions are just there to weigh you down, to keep you stuck in that place. That's why people are mentally stuck at certain ages, because they're still holding on to emotions. They're still revisiting the same traumas over and over again. You have to forgive those people. You have to forgive those things. And another thing, you have to forgive your creator, because that was an issue for me. I was pissed off at God because, and it wasn't even about my childhood trauma. It was about, well, it was the process of my childhood trauma healing, because my childhood trauma healing started when we left San Antonio and moved to Texas to be closer to family, and I got reintroduced to family, and certain triggers were happening, certain things were showing up that reminded me of childhood and the things that I didn't like about it, and the connections that were not healthy, that were toxic. And then we moved to Florida to be closer to more family, and the same things happened. But it was all a part of my childhood trauma healing journey. My childhood trauma healing journey was years, because I was so in denial. I had gotten so good at ignoring things. And if you go through childhood trauma, you get used to ignoring things. You disassociate, you separate from your body. If something happens or that reminds you of those situations or those traumas, you will initially, you will instantly probably disconnect from your body just to get through it, because you did that when you were a child. That is habits, that is learned behavior. So it's a routine of yours. And if you are a creature of habit, until you know better, until you have a new way of being, until you know better, you can't really do better. So I had to grow, I had to learn. Source had to reintroduce me to these energies, to these had to I had to be triggered for a lot of stuff that was buried within me, because it was buried so deep. It was buried so deep. And then when the virus thing happened, the lockdown happened, it was the first spark of, and it's crazy because it was during my Saturn return. My Saturn return started during that lockdown. A lot of people, they were talking about the rising, Rona rising, and it was, your crown chakra, and you were rising and elevating. You were the shift was happening from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. So the veil was being lifted, and people were seeing things 111 on the clock. New beginning was happening, and things that were hidden, secrets, things that you couldn't see before, that you had buried and suppressed. You could no longer hide behind religion. You could no longer hide behind dogma. You could no longer suppress those things. They had to come up and they had to be dealt with. And that's another reason, partially, why I went into such a deep depression during that time, was because a lot of things were resurfacing and a lot of triggers were happening in that relationship, because his family reminded me a lot of my family. They just had a bit more money. They just had a little bit more money. But his family did a lot of things. It was a lot of things that reminded me of my family, and how it just was not, that wasn't my soul tribe. But it was, every connection has a reason, it has a season, and I'm grateful for that time, and I'm grateful for his parents being so nosy and meddling and not letting us just do our thing and figure our stuff out, because they helped me to not make the mistake of actually committing myself forever. Like, I've been saying I didn't want to get legally married, and I was willing to legally marry this man, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because that's a whole other thing. But I'm getting off subject, family. So off subject. I might cut this out, but I'm getting so off subject. But I'm just showing you the things that you learn, the lessons that you learn when you actually go back. That was an example, so I'm not going to cut it out, because as you can see, like, I'm grateful for them doing the things that they did, and how I didn't like it, and I didn't feel that it was fair during the time, but I forgive them, and I don't have no ill will or ill feelings towards him or his family, because it pushed me to the right direction, away from them, and to back on the path that I was supposed to be on. That was just, a detour. There was lessons that I needed to learn. There was lessons that he needed to learn, that probably they needed to learn. And it was tests for all of us, everybody involved. And I'm just grateful for the time that we had, and I forgive them. If they forgive me, that's all on them. I'm not seeking forgiveness from nobody, but I forgive them, and I forgive everybody else that ever hurt me or anything like that. And on to the next thing. And that comes with you doing your inner work, and you realizing that certain things were meant to happen for you to get the lessons from them, so that you can make sure to open your eyes to things that you let slide, to things that you possibly were unaware of, things that need to be fixed and need to be addressed. That is why you get in relationships, and why people trigger you and they do things and they hurt you. Sometimes they don't even realize what they're doing, sometimes because they are not fully aware of themselves either. You were put in their lives to be a trigger as well. That's what these karmic relations and karmic vibes are, binds are. I'm going to do videos on karmic relationships too, karmic connections. But that is what those are for. Karma is lessons. Karma is not people. It feels bad. It's not fun when you're going through it, but it's just lessons for you to learn from. And That's what happens. And as long as you get those lessons, especially in the year of Saturn and the age of Aquarius, and then after Aquarius it'll be the age of Capricorn, and Capricorn's original ruling planet is Saturn as well. So still going to be more karma and more lessons for people going into that age too. So it is what it is, family. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But as long as you are getting the lessons and you are paying attention and you are utilizing the tools that you get from those lessons and those interactions and those connections, then you can grow and you can evolve and move forward, and it'll help you with every other challenge that you come across. But back to what I was saying, that led to, and I lost it, but I'll get it back again. Forgiveness. Forgiveness, when you forgive other people. Now, just because you choose to forgive people for the things that they did, for the things that happened while y'all were connected, does not mean that you need to allow them access to you. So you can forgive people and you can love them from afar. You can forgive people and you can just handle them with a long spoon, like I said, like the old folks used to say. You can just, be cordial with them, say hi, goodbye. You can forgive them and block them in every way possible. That is the main way that I do with people. That I feel like really hurt me, or if I told you something that I was afraid of in this connection, that I didn't want to happen with this connection, and then that ends up happening, and it seems like you don't care, then you will not have access to me again. You just won't, because I laid it out. You didn't have to decipher nothing. You didn't have to, you weren't confused. I told you exactly my fear of what could happen. And then you decided, okay, I'm going to test those waters. I'm going to see if this person, because sometimes you can give people chance after chance, and then they think that you're just dumb and they're always going to have a chance with you. But family, I'm here to tell you, stop doing that. When something happens, nip it in the bud. 1717 on the clock. When something happens, you need to nip it in the bud. Once it happens, if somebody disrespects you, if somebody does something wrong, you assert yourself and be clear and let them know what's happening right then and there, so that you don't have to keep giving people chance after chance and be so forgiving and so turn the other cheek. We are not in that age no more. You're not turning the other cheek no more. People know exactly what they are doing at this time. There's a lot of clarity at this time. They know exactly what they are doing. So do not give people hundreds and thousands of chances. However many chances you want to give people, that's up to you. But I'm telling you, people think that you're dumb and that you're a pushover and that they can get away with murder with you if you keep giving them chance after chance. Then when you get serious, then you're the monster and you're a horrible person and you're this, that, and that. And that's just them projecting and them trying to make you feel guilty. They're pulling out all the ropes to try to get you to do what they want you to do. That's narcissism. Do not feed into it. Block them from every avenue and then keep moving forward. And you can forgive them for what they did to you, for how they treated you, for whatever it was that they did. Forgive them, but don't allow them access again. You can, also, like I said, you can just be cordial with people. I have people that I don't have a problem with. They just don't, I haven't really blocked them, but they don't have access to me personally. They can't just call me up on the phone. Only a few people have my phone number. I have people, they still have access to me on social media, but they can't access me directly, because I no longer want that connection with them, because I don't feel safe with them. I don't feel that the information, whatever I tell them is safe. I don't feel that my feelings are safe with them. I don't feel that they have my best interest at heart. So I don't feel the need to let them have access to me in that way. So if you feel this way about a person, the best thing for you to do is to either cut them off completely or to limit their access to you. That is the best thing for you to do. You don't need to hold it. And that's not you holding a grudge. That's you protecting yourself. That's self-preservation. If somebody tells you that something's wrong with you, for preserving your safety, for practicing self-preservation, for protecting yourself and setting and asserting clear boundaries, they are a person that was benefiting from you not having those clear boundaries. They are a person that was benefiting from you being naive, benefiting from you giving chance after chance. They are a person that wants to manipulate you and that wants to use and abuse you. Get as far away from them as possible. And if they are not that type of person, then they just are not emotionally intelligent. They are not, they don't understand. They don't understand. And you have to do what's best for you until you learn better or do better. And if what's best for you is completely separating from a person, then that's what's best for you. It doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you don't forgive them. It just means that that is what's best for you. And a lot of times when you decide to forgive a person and you're on a path of growth and evolution and healing, you become different. You're growing, you're changing, you're transforming. You are no longer like those people. You no longer have anything in common with those people. So you you don't so you don't have to keep communication with them. You don't have to stay connected to them because you don't have anything in common with them. And if you're trying to grow and evolve and people are not doing the same thing, they're being immature and not, communicating properly and effectively, they do not have your best interest at heart. They're still doing the same things that you're trying to grow and evolve from. If when you try to reconnect with them, there's conflict, they're still bringing up old stuff that you have resolved within yourself. If you have asked them for forgiveness, apologized to them, you told them you forgive them, and they probably haven't even apologized. If they have apologized and you've forgiven them, and you're trying to make it work with them with that connection, but they are still, acting in the same ways, being immature, then your best bet is to separate from them until they learn to respect you and treat you in the way that you want to be treated, or until they grow and evolve to the level that you are on. Because if you don't and you continue to connect with them, you birds of a feather flock together. You will be dragged right back down to where you worked so hard to come from. So protect all the work that you've done. Protect your peace of mind. Protect your journey, your path. Protect yourself. Self-preservation, family. That's something you didn't have the luxury of while you were a child, because things were taken from you with your trauma, your peace of mind, your personal power, your body, your speech, your mind. All those things were stripped from you when you went through your trauma. So your confidence, whatever it was. So now that you have worked so hard to regain these things, do not give it away, and do not allow anybody to bring you back to a place that you've worked so hard to come from, family. Do not do that. Protect your peace. Protect your mind. Forgive. Forgiving is a part of protecting your peace and your mind. Forgiving is a part of protecting your elevation and your evolution to the next level, because you can't move forward if your heart is heavier than that feather. And it's figurative, people, so don't think your heart needs to be completely empty of nothing. You're always working. But if you are continually working on yourself, growing and evolving, if you are continuously putting your best foot forward, you're always staying consistent and committed. If your heart is pure and your creator knows that you want to do better and you're actively trying to do better, and when you mess up, you don't beat yourself up about it. You see where you messed up, correct yourself, and you get back on your path, then guess what? Source takes all those things into account. Your creator takes all those things into account, and you will continue to move forward and elevate. But you just have to be able to continue to work on yourself. Forgive, release those heavy feelings of regret, of doubt, of fear, of stagnancy, lack mindset, of resentment, of anger, you know, release those traumas, release all of that, let it go, let it go. Release those mindsets, those limited mindsets. You are competent, you are capable, you can do it, you are smart, you are ambitious, you are driven, you are a light, okay? You are actively trying to be the best that you can be. You are actively trying to reach your highest self, and you will. You will succeed, family. Just forgive yourself, forgive others, and keep moving. And you got this. I promise you. It is going to work out. I'm going to tell you some of the steps to, well, I already spoke on that, but if you get the book, you'll get all of the steps. But in conclusion, that is this series, the 5-part series, were the steps to healing your childhood trauma. Now, this is just a blueprint. This is a guidebook to assist you on your journey of healing your childhood trauma. You take this book, and there are quizzes, there are assignments in there to help you gauge, you know, where you are as far as the childhood trauma that you experience, and to help you, to give you prompts and things to address certain things, to release certain things on paper so that you can become more aware. And there are tools and tips in the book to assist you with regaining yourself, regaining that awareness, and growing and evolving and maintaining and sustaining your all the work that you put in, your peace of mind, and the new person that you are becoming, that you regaining yourself, connecting to your inner child and the highest self, your highest self that you are becoming, how to maintain and sustain that, and to keep growing and evolving. All right, family, so that is it. That is all. I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that you learned something from it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share, and get the book. It is link is to my website is in the community page, and I also put it in the description of the video. And that is it. That is all. I love y'all. Don't forget to take care of yourself, respect yourself, protect yourself, and do what you need to do, and enjoy your life in this journey, family. Enjoy your life. Try to be present. Try to appreciate the little things, and just be grateful for how far you have come, and then you'll be able to get more. The source will bless you with more. Have a great day. Peace, family. Love you.